There he is. Hey, T2, why the hell are you not online right now? The whole platoon's at phase line orange. Let's fucking go. You want to know what's more high speed than when your nods in the middle of the day? Hand and arm signals. Today we're going to be covering all the hand and arm signals in Marine Corps Rifle Squad and how to implement it using your small unit training. All right, what's going on, gents? Today we're going to be covering something pretty simple, but I see a lot of people mess it up. So we're going to be going over hand and arm signals. The main purpose of hand and arm signal is just a way to silently communicate with your team, help enable cohesion throughout your team to be able to achieve like a common goal. So whether it be on a patrol, during an attack, during some type of movement, you utilize hand and arm signals to help speed up the process of communication without using your voice or like your radio to help maintain a smaller signature. So we're going to be covering them today. It is a 0300 1000 level event as well. And the publications we're using today are Marine Corps Rifle Squad and the updated TNR Manual NAVMAC 3500.44 Delta. So that's what we're going to go over today, and we'll get into it. All right, and the main relevance for understanding hand and arm signals and getting the good practice in is like it's extremely relevant because it helps enable coordination during patrols, enhances unit cohesion and effectiveness without using your voice, without using your radio. What I see people get this wrong or how they mess up hand and arm signals is a lot of times it comes down to discipline. So I know that a lot of infantrymen, Marines, we hear the word discipline and we kind of cringe a little bit because we're thinking of like our sergeant major or like maybe our drill instructors just yelling out the word discipline. That's really what it comes down to. People mess up hand and arm signals by not giving a confirmation hand arm signal back or not repeating the hand arm signal down the line.
Being lazy with it.
Yeah, just being lazy, just being in the black on a patrol for some reason. Like the not having that discipline is what really messes this up. And what we want to cover today is one, the hand and arm signals for like newer guys, or maybe civilians who just don't know this, or maybe you're more of a visual learner. And then it's mainly for how you can implement this in your small unit training to help train your guys and to help give them the ability to use their discipline towards something. Because I got a few tools in my toolbox and how I train my guys and just how we accomplish those tasks. So we'll get into it. We'll go hand and arm signal by hand and arm signal according to Marine Corps Rifle Squad because we're Marines. We're going to use Marine Corps Rifle Squad. Some of these signals will change or vary depending on what publication you read. So that's why I think it's good to just use the basic one. And again, that's hand arm signals might change depending on the military you're with. Maybe even your unit has specific hand arm signals that mean something different. That's absolutely fine. The importance of hand arm signals is just it's a nonverbal way to communicate. So it doesn't really matter if they're different or they vary a little bit. What matters is that you use them effectively and you're not using your radio or your voice every time you need to communicate something across, especially in a non-permissive environment. So we'll go ahead and get into it. All right, and again, I'm going to read these line by line because I don't want to mess anything up. The importance is that the information is out there. So the first one in Appendix Bravo, Marine Corps Rifle Squad, hand and arm signals. We're going to be decrease speed. Extend the arm horizontally sideward, palm to the front, and wave downward several times, keeping the arm straight. Arm, there's so many typos in Marine Corps Rifle Squad. Arm does no move above horizontal.
I wonder who wrote
All right,
that.
anyway, yeah, boot. All right, decrease speed. This is all it is. It's pretty self-explanatory on that one. You're just trying to change the speed at which maybe your foot patrol moving mounted. A lot of dudes think that hand arm signals only apply to dismounted movements. Hand arm signals also apply to mounted movements. So we both have time in CAT. We've definitely been in another type of mounted unit for a while, and then also done a lot of dismounted operations. Hand arm signals are usually part of your pace when you're in a mounted units. Like if your comm goes down, or maybe you're trying to be comm silent on something, you'll stand up in your turret hatch or whatever and use hand arm signals, like communicate in the old-fashioned way. So just like people did back 100 years ago, and they're like trying to do their left turn signal, right turn signal.
Yeah.
That's the type of vibes you get when you're doing it. Anyway, that's decreased speed. All right, change direction or column, right or left. Raise the hand that is on the side toward the new direction across the body, palm facing front. Then swing the arm in a horizontal arc, extending arm and hand to point in the new direction. So essentially that's all it is. Change direction or column. So the way that I've interpreted this one, I've seen people do it, is they're just changing direction. That's all it is. You're like, if you're in a patrol formation, you're going to take like a right turn or left turn. You're just changing your specific direction and orientation of that patrol. That's all it is. All right, the next one, enemy in sight. Let me grab a rifle. So this one is kind of applies, again, to those dismounted patrols in those units. But if you're using this hand arm signal, you're likely in a situation where you don't want to speak. You don't want to potentially use your radio. So it's basically just, you get your rifle, it's clear. You're at the low ready. All you're going to do is you're going to bring your rifle up. And then when you're pointing at something and your buddy sees, like you got two dudes behind you, maybe a team behind you, they see the team in front of them raise their rifle up and point it towards an enemy. That lets the team behind them know that there's enemy in sight.
Yep.
That's the point of that. And then what you can do in the same motion, and I guess I should show it here. Then what you can do in the same motion is I can bring this rifle up, and then I can give a 2, a 3, a 4. And I've seen people misinterpret this one as well. But I'll just go ahead and read it. Extend the arm fully toward the leader or people for whom the signal is intended, with fists closed. Open the fist, exposing one finger for every 100 meters of range. So I've seen people do the finger method. Well, they'll do like 1, 2, 3, or 4. That doesn't mean how many people you're looking at. It means the range in 100 meters. All right. I've also seen people do a fist, and that typically means like there's people less than 100 meters. That's a pretty big deal. So this one, enemy in sight, because I'm just raising my rifle up, like acquiring the target. And the second one is like if I'm the point man that acquired the enemy, 200 meters away. That's all I got to do. Those are those hand arm signals, very fast, very efficient. The next one, commence firing. So commence firing. Extend the arm in front of the body, hip high, palm down, and move it through a wide horizontal arc several times. So yeah, let's say you're in an ambush situation, and you have your team ready. Typically, the unit leader or someone designated by the unit leader initiates the ambush. Maybe that falls through. Maybe the dude who's supposed to initiate the ambush, I don't know, falls asleep on watch. Sure. It happens, and then the unit leader, maybe like your rifle is just not working or something like that. Maybe you have like some type of stoppage. Now you can look to your next guy, commence firing. He sees the hand arm signal, commence firing, cool, he's good to go. In terms of your pace for that, like your primary is like the guy in front of you, your alternate is just the unit leader initiating the ambush. Your contingency could be hand and arm signals in order to initiate whatever fire you want. Or it's a machine gun support by fire. You're occupying by stealth. You're the machine gun squad leader. You can just give the hand arm signal to like machine gun 1, hey, commence firing. That'll let him know that he's good to shoot. Yeah, pretty basic, self-explanatory one. Commence firing, just like that. All right, now the fire faster one. These are going to look kind of similar. So execute rapidly, the signal commence firing. For machine guns, the signal is a change to the next higher rate of fire that's required. So after you give the hand arm signal commence firing, this has to be used in conjunction with each other. You'll either do it faster or you'll do it slower. It'll just make it very drawn out and like, what's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know. But I mean, for this one, I mean, specifically, if you've been around machine guns and them going off, they're loud. I mean, even with your peltors canceling them out. And I know a lot of the machine gun squad leaders screaming or to lose their voice in the first 10, 15 minutes. And if this is going on longer, they're going to be raspy.
Yeah.
So
you're trying to exaggerate that movement.
Yeah.
That's
so I mean, in this scenario, or in this case for machine guns, it's more so like, hey, I don't have to fucking lose my voice. I can give that hand and arm signal to slow the rate or increase rate, and you know those specifics. But that way, I'm not having to scream, and it's a visual. So you're non-verbally communicating, not because you're trying to be stealthy, but because no one can hear anything anymore, and maybe they can't even hear you screaming because you're X amount of feet away. So.
Yeah, and we were gonna try and talk about this a little bit later in the video, but we can also hit it now. It's not necessarily a hand and arm signal, but you as the base unit, like say you're a machine gun squad leader. The squad leader, he can designate a base gun, so like typically gun 1, and the squad leader is the base unit of that squad. So me, if I'm the machine gun squad leader, I run over to gun 1, and I just tell him to start firing faster, or I give him the hand arm signal, start firing faster. I might not have to give that hand arm signal to gun 2. Gun 2 should be able to hear that machine gun 1 has picked up the rate, especially if they're both shooting at the same target. Shooting at different targets, obviously it's a little different, but if they're both shooting at the same target, Gun 2 should be able to go just straight off gun 1 based on his actions. And that kind of leads us like into the base unit. If I'm a team leader or squad leader and we're doing a foot patrol, we're in some type of file in the tree line, and your squad leader takes a knee, faces a direction, since everybody is looking backwards and they have visual contact with the dude behind them, and at some point there's visual contact with the team leader, that team leader should theoretically have visual contact with the squad leader just down like the line, down like the visual chain. So squad leader takes a knee, turns left, might not be like immediate, but the whole squad should be able to just take a knee and turn left based on the squad leader's actions. And that applies to everything. Like if you're in a dynamic offensive environment and your team leader immediately gets in the prone, whole team should probably be in the prone. Team leader starts bounding forward, whole team starts bounding forward. It's the base unit concept, and it's amplified the higher you go. So squad leader is the base unit of the squad. He controls the base team. The platoon commander designates a base squad that the other two squads base their movements off of. He controls the base squad. And it just keeps going up and up and up all the way to the company, battalion. And it can even go higher, especially if you're on like a constant line, moving very forward in very dynamic scenarios. So this is kind of the hand arm signals definitely ties into that and can be used for that very well. But if you're in a situation where you just want the patrol to halt, I mean, practice with your dudes. Just if you're a squad leader, just take a knee.
Yeah, it's good reps. See who's not paying attention, who's gaffing it off. Because I mean, you don't want to be taking a knee and then the dude in front of you is just zoned out, never turning around, and they're like 30, 40 feet ahead of you. And you're like, you don't want to scream.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, idiot, fucking turn around. So it's one of those things you guys need to get reps at it. So it's good training.
All right. Next one, pretty simple. Like we probably all know this one, ceasefire.
I feel like everybody should know that. If you haven't seen that,
yeah, if you haven't seen that one, I don't think you've been in the right Marine Corps
or Army. Yeah.
Every time I see the next one, I always think of boot camp when what was it? You did like the graduation thing. Like did you go to church in boot camp?
Yeah.
You know how the dudes who were already Marines would sit in a different area?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then they do like the assemble thing. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I always think about.
Assemble? Okay.
Because I'm a boot. I was in boot camp like a week ago.
Oh, yeah, same.
Yeah. All right, but anyway, assemble. You just palm to the air, throwing it around. Raise arm and vertically to the full extent. Join fingers, palm to the front, wave in large horizontal circles. So I've seen people use this to like assemble like key leaders. Very rarely have I seen this used where like it means everyone just like gaggle.
Yeah, huddle in.
Yes, I've very rarely seen it used like that. It's typically like you'll get a fire like the shoulder fire team one, or just fire team leaders assemble, or like some people will pull collar for assemble. Those are the only times I've really seen that one used. All right, the next one, form column. Raise either arm to the vertical position, drop the arm to the rear, describing complete circles in a vertical plane parallel to the body. The signal may be used to indicate either a troop or a vehicular column. So this one's pretty important because it's based on it. Enables a formation. So vehicle column, you just palm to the front in a circle. Very easy to understand and pick up. And if you're probably patrolling on the East Coast, you're going to be in a file a lot of times.
Yeah, I mean, obviously your terrain dictates.
Yeah, but people are going to end up being in a column, and again that one specifically means like a column, like an attack column, not like a file. Typically, when I've seen people do the file hand arm signal, it's just like the mohawk on the forehead.
Ranger file it out.
Yep. All right, the next one. Are you ready? This one's actually pretty useful. So raise a hand in front of the forehead, palm to the front, and swing the hand and forearm up and down several times in front of the face. So it's this one, like, are you ready? And when you do that, you should be getting the exact same signal back. All right, so for like this scenario, a squad is in their attack position, and the squad leader is just looking over at his assistant squad leader. He's just wanting to know if like everybody's ready, everything's accounted for, they're ready to move to their assault position. He can give the hand and arm signal to this. He should get one back from his ASL, the same thing. That just lets the squad leader know that like they're ready to keep pushing. It can mean also like a mount environment, like, hey, you're separated by like this long alleyway from like you and your other team, and you're just going to push down and clear this alleyway. It's like, hey, are you ready? Yes, I'm ready. Get the same one back. and then you're good to move. It's just a non-verbal cue that, again, just allows you to do the thing. So I've used this one a lot. It's very, very useful. The next one is just attention. So it's just waving your hand up and down.
I'm over here. No.
Yeah. Attention, extend the arm sideways, slightly above horizontal, palm to the front, wave toward and over the head several times. Attention is used when you're trying to literally just get someone's attention.
Yeah, maybe that dude kept walking 30, 40 feet, and the one guy in front of him that's actually turning around is like, what the heck?
We've all seen it happen, like your point man is just in the blacks because he's, I don't know, patrolling, and he's uncomfortable patrolling.
36 hours in, he's just zoned out.
But point man just keeps going. The squad leader just took a knee, trying to take a halt, and then the point man just keeps walking. That's just what you do. Keep doing that until you get the guy's attention. Hopefully he turns around. If he doesn't, that's a bigger issue. All right, the next one. The next one's going to be shift. So point to individuals or units concerned, beat on chest simultaneously with both fists, then point to the location you desire them to move. So we have a rifle squad in the assault. Let's say there's vehicles. We use vehicles for this one. Vehicles in the assault, and I want the vehicle next to me to shift its position. What I can do is I can point to that vehicle, beat on chest, and tell it to move. I have also seen this same hand arm signal, and it might be being misused in this particular context, but I've also seen that used for machine guns shifting their fires. I think there's another hand and arm signal for that one specifically in machine gun employment, but where I've seen this one used correctly is just telling units to move. So you point, beat on chest, shift, and you're just telling that fire team, hey, move from over there to over there. Maybe the squad leader sees better cover. That's the main point of that particular hand and arm signal. All right, the next few, we have echelon. I'll just go ahead and hit both of them. Echelon right and echelon left. Your echelon, whenever I do the hand arm signal like this, you're trying to get your fires oriented to the direction that it's facing. So like if the line is going from bottom right to top left, your unit should be oriented to the right. If it's bottom left to top right, your unit should be oriented to the left. And again, those formations are used mainly in like your company is doing the movement to contact, your platoon's doing the movement to contact, or maybe you're trying to move to your attack position and you just want to have your guys oriented towards the enemy's positions just in case you come under fire. That's when an echelon formation is used.
Yeah, I feel like the only time I can really recall trying to implement that, if you know, it's kind of vague to like think outside the box on that, on when you would use it. It's more so like a specific situation, I feel.
Yeah.
Like it's not something very common, obviously, if you know, but
it's very hard to maintain. I mean, we'll get into that in like a formations video. Echelon is very hard to maintain for a long duration of time. It might just be like a stationary formation, if anything.
Yeah, it depends.
All right, the next one is also interesting. I've seen this one misused a lot. Is skirmishers fire team or a line formation squad. So raise arms laterally and horizontal, palms down to indicate a direction. Move in that direction at the same time. When signaling for a fire team and skirmishers, indicate skirmishers right or left by moving the right or left hand up and down, regardless of the direction the signaler is facing. Skirmishers left will always be indicated by moving the left hand up and down, skirmishers right, the right hand. So what this is saying is when you're in a fire team, like say I'm the fire team leader and I give this hand and arm signal, it means I'm wanting skirmishers left or skirmishers right. And again, that applies to like the automatic rifleman, the skirmishers. It's basically just moving the automatic rifleman to the left or the right. When this is given as a squad leader or to the squad, it just basically when your squad is online, it's still technically a skirmishers. It's just the squad leader isn't going to designate that all the automatic riflemen are on the far right or on the far left, unless that's your unit's SOP, which I'm not saying that's good or bad, but could be a possibility. So one arm moving right, or your palm moving up and down on the right side, skirmishers right, palm moving up on the left side, skirmishers left. All right, the next one we have is wedge. So extend both arms downward and to the side at a 45-degree angle below horizontal, palms to the front. The Marine Corps does wedge a little bit differently than the Army. Yeah. The Army does like a wedge echelon mixture, which I think actually might be better.
I don't know.
Some cases.
I know. I do like that.
I think they're also technically supposed to, like, we get online, like we get the whole team online or whole squad online. They actually, I think I read it in one of their publications, Infantry, Platoon, and Squad. where they get really, really close in a very close wedge. Like they assault in a close wedge.
If you're Army or former Army, reach out. But
yeah, let me know if I'm wrong or incorrect.
Or if you like it better or not, because
Yep. All right. So wedge for Marine Corps, just diamond shape, basically. All right. Then we have V. So, more formation hand arm signals. So V, you're just putting both your hands up, like YMCA style. Extend arms at 45-degree angle above the horizontal, forming the letter V with the arms and torso. That's just basically telling your dudes you're getting the V formation. V formation, very self-explanatory. All right. So the next one's fire team. Place the right arm diagonally across the right chest. So I've seen this one used as like a squad leader. So fire team 1, fire team 2, and then fire team 3. And then what you can do is we do like shoulder fire team, assemble. You're basically calling like for your fire team leaders. I've seen people pull at the collar. I'm not entirely sure if that one's in here. I don't think I saw it.
No. I mean, you can also make your own internal SOP for hand and arm signals specifically, but we'll get into that later.
Yeah, the leader hand and arm signal is not the collar. I think it's literally just like you point at something and you tell them to come in. But we're about to get into that. All right, and the next one's squad. So if you're a platoon commander, platoon sergeant, or you're just like the head squad leader, you can do the arm extended up and down, and then what you can do there is like squad 1, squad 2, and that's how you can call in your squad leaders. Or you could say squad 1 wedge, squad 2 echelon right. That's how you actually delineate which squad you're trying to talk to. All right, so platoon hand and arm signal. That one's kind of complicated when you look at it for the first time. Essentially, all it is your arms are forward, come around, and extend both arms forward, palms toward the leader or units for whom the signal is intended, and make large vertical circles with hands. That's all it is. And again, if you're company commander trying to signal platoon, that's probably the hand arm signal you use. Or if you're trying to put the whole platoon in a column or something like that as a platoon commander or one of the unit leaders, that would be the time you'd use that. Close up, that's just mainly going to be talking about dispersion. So start signal with both arms extended sideward, bringing palms forward and together in front of the body momentarily. When repetition of this signal is necessary, the arms are returned to the starting position by movement along the front of the body. So it's just here, close up. You should be finished with your hands closed to signify that that's what you're trying to do. And then open up is the same thing, just reversed. So your hands are going to be together, open up, hands together, open up. Start signal with the arms extended in front of the body, palms together, and bring arms horizontal at the sides, palms forward. When repetition of the signal is necessary, the arms are returned along the front of the body to the starting position, and the signal is repeated until understood. All right, so the next hand arm signal is dispersed. A lot of the times I've seen people use close up or open up to also mean disperse. But yeah, so these are going to apply. So disperse, I think, is mainly like the distance between maybe like your two, like your grenadier and like your rifleman. Well, then close up would probably be like the distance between your formations. That's just what I gather from it. It doesn't really expand on it at all. If you choose to use close up and open up there to mean the same thing as disperse, that's absolutely fine. But disperse is just going to be hand out to the side, hand out to the side. We talked about this already, but leaders join me. All that is you're sticking your arm out, you're supinating your arm, and you're just pointing like that. And then I do not understand. Probably one of the most important ones. You're just bringing your arms up to the side if somebody gives you a hand arm so you don't understand, or they're trying to tell you to do something you don't understand, maybe over comm, you can hit them with this. Like, I'm not sure what you're talking about.
I'm not getting you.
Yep. And then forward or advance, just arm forward over the head, face. So this one means forward, advance to the right, to the rear, use them starting from the halt. So face and move in the desired direction of the march at the same time. Extend the arm to the rear, then swing it overhead and forward in the direction of the movement until it's horizontal, palm down. So you're starting this way, moving it forward. And then halt. So this one, and halt and freeze get confused all the time. I don't know why it's so hard to understand. Halt is your palm going out, just facing forward, like at a 90-degree angle. And then your palm is open. Your hand is open. Freeze, closed. Halt just means you throw this one up. Your patrol takes like a couple steps. You're good. Maybe finds when you're patrolling, you should always be looking for the next piece of cover and concealment anyway. maybe moving to the next piece of cover and concealment. When it's freeze, nobody's moving. It means literally like you're not taking another step, you're not breathing, like nobody's doing anything when you get a freeze.
Yeah. I kind of remember it like when I see someone throw a halt or I throw a halt, it's like, all right, hold on, let me reorient. Maybe Navman's trying to figure out where the hell we're going.
Yep.
Freeze is like, oh my God, wait. Like,
Yep.
Holy shit, there's somebody in front of us. Holy
Yep.
shit, there's a landmine.
Potentially after freeze, you'll probably get like the enemy in sight hand arm signal. A lot of these can be used
It'll be like
consecutively.
Rifle up.
All right, next one is dismount, down, or take cover. So you're just starting up, coming down, up, coming down. And the reverse of that is mount. So it would just be palm starting down and then coming up. Someone a long time ago gave like the hand arm signal for mount, and it was just something absolutely ridiculous. It was like this or something like that, and it was just extremely extra. So yeah. And then disregard previous command or as you were. This is also important, like belay my last. It's basically saying the same thing. You're just doing hands up above your head with an X. All right, and the next one, this one would be like mainly controlling vehicle movement, or maybe like a huge element, like a platoon or a company even, but right flank or left flank. So you're basically gonna have your arms on line with each other, and you're just moving both of them like that direction. That basically means that everyone in that formation is going to turn left at the same time and move that direction. You're not swinging the column around and keeping the formation. If you're moving in one direction in a column and you give the left flank, everyone's basically getting online at that point. And it works the same thing either way. Next hand arm signal we have is increased speed or double time. Probably another common one that's used. You basically give like the freeze hand arm signal, which is kind of ironic, I guess, and you're just pumping it up and down. It's a fist bump. Yeah, so carry the hand to the shoulder, fist closed, rapidly thrust the first upward vertical, extending fully back. Yeah, it's just pumping your fist up and down. All right, and then hasty ambush. You guys probably saw this in the opening. My favorite hand arm signal because it means something cool is about to happen. You just grab, you do like a 90-degree like fist basically, and you're just punching the direction that you're trying to put the hasty ambush in. So if you're punching right, everyone's going right. You're punching left, you're going left. All right, rally point. Seen this one messed up a lot. All you're doing for this one, you're touching the belt buckle with one hand, and you're pointing to the ground. Touch the belt buckle, point to the ground. Objective rally point is you touch the belt buckle with one hand, point to the ground, and make a circle. So if you guys have a rally point, or maybe you use rally point like as your checkpoint hand and arm signal, it's going to give guys a little bit more SA. But if you're at your objective rally point, you can make that circle and let the dudes know that maybe they're in the black, like, hey, we finally reached our objective rally point before we conduct reconnaissance on objective or something.
And I would say just like some of these that we're going through, whether you're training to it or not, if you're a small unit leader or even leader, I would just, whether you're talking through it, maybe you're just in your little training area next to the bricks or whatever, and it's the training's not specifically for hand and arm signals, you're just doing something, still do the reps of getting it, as well as the guys will be able to see you doing it. So yeah, it's just like little keynotes there is like if you're making a rally point, or you're designated this as a rally point, or you're making objective rally point, I mean, or even just these hand and arm signals, and you're just talking through it, getting like a rep of actually doing them while you're doing training that's not specifically for this is a good rep for you, as well as the guys, so they are understanding and getting online with it. So
all right, so that's really the last one we're going to cover for today. There are some in there about directing helicopters, but we're just going over like the small unit side of the hand and arm signal parts. So now we're going to get into running lanes for your guys so that they can go over hand and arm signals. They can get a rep at passing it. This is also just something good to practice if you have like some downtime or white space in between like field ops, or maybe you just need to hit some quick training.
Just getting reps in.
Yeah, so we're going to show you guys how to run these lanes, how to set it up, and we'll go from there. All right, so what we're going to do now is just set up some like small unit training lanes, show you guys what I've done in the past and what I've seen that works. And again, it's just something quick you can do for your dudes. That way they can get down hand and arm signals and understand like what all that kind of entails. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up like a single file line. We'll just be like in a file. The dude in the front needs to have eyes on a small unit leader that's out of line of sight from the rest of the dudes in the formation. So where that's like behind a building, behind like a tree line or something like that. The small unit leader will pass a hand and arm signal to the dude in the front, And literally all you're trying to do is just see if that hand and arm signal makes it all the way to the back of the formation. And if it doesn't make it to the back of the formation, I don't know, whatever your flavor is, make your dudes like do 10 burpees, make them, I don't know, something. That way that they understand that like not passing the hand and arm signal back is a bad thing. All right. So we're going to get a line set up. Once that hand and arm signal makes it all the way back, all you do is you just rotate out the guy in the front. It's kind of like an Indian run. We'll demonstrate that real quick for you guys, and so you can see what it looks like. All right, and again, you can play with the dispersion, you can play with the formation. It's just up to you. Just back up a little bit. All right, so say like my small unit leader standing right there, like my squad leader, the dude videoing right now. All he's gonna do is pass me like a hand and arm signal. He gives me like the hand and arm signal halt. So again, we're not trying to verbally say it. We're just trying to see if I can see it. So he gives me the hand arm signal halt. I repeat it back. I get confirmation for him. He passes it all the way to the end. Goes like third, fourth, fifth, whatever, 10th dude. Small unit leader checks, make sure the 10th dude's got the same hand and arm signal, and we pass it all the way back. We're good to go. Then me as the front guy, I'll rotate to the back. Small unit leader will pass another hand and arm signal, like let's say it's freeze, confirmation, confirmation. Cool, we're good to go. And again, it seems very minute. It seems very small. Like it doesn't matter. Like it won't train your guys. Again, depends on the training level of your dudes. So if you get brand new PFCs, brand new boots, one, this is going to help them kind of understand how your team operates, your squad operates. It's also going to train them what to look for. It's also just something small that you can do if you're on a boat, restricted space, something like that. Get your guys going. This really comes into play under night vision. So we'll show you guys later what it looks like when you're wearing night vision. But especially in low light conditions, making sure your dudes understand how to receive and pass on hand and arm signals is extremely important. We hope this worked for you guys. Let us know if you guys have any success with this or not.
Decrease speed. Change direction. Enemy in sight. Range. Commence firing. Fire faster. Fire slower. Cease firing. Assemble. Form column. Are you ready? I am ready. Attention. Shift fire. Echelon left. Echelon right. Skirmishers fire team right. Skirmishers fire team left. Wedge. B. Fire team. Squad. Platoon. Close up. Open up, extend. Disperse. Leaders, join me. I don't understand. Forward, advance. Halt. Freeze. Dismount. Mount. Disregard previous command or as you were. Right flank, left flank. Increase speed, double time. Hasty ambush left, hasty ambush right. Rally point. Objective rally point. Conclude.
All right, guys, so that's hand arm signals. Again, we covered this because it is a basic task that everyone should know how to do, and also just giving you guys tips and tricks on how to set up this training for your dudes. So we hope you guys liked the video. Hope if you guys have any input on anything, like especially your Army guys and what you guys might do differently, let us know, and I don't know, maybe like we'll change that, or maybe some other guys can put that in their SOP.
We'll also do more detail, like patrolling stuff later with more guys.
Yeah,
it'll be more videos to come later.
Yeah,
but
trying to set up a patrolling video and also like a fire team formation video as well for you guys. So we'll push that out and get that filmed for you.